Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is another edition of Lunacy with Colleen Marie, and I am Sandy, your co host, and I'm kind of undercover. But did you notice what I wore today? I don't know if you can read it, but I got it at the Situate Salt Cave, and it says, "It's
Yeah,
already yours, XOXO, the universe." And I
love
wear
it.
this, like, this is such a great new moon, I feel like, hat, for today. But I would just like to welcome everyone who's just hopefully popping in. I'm going to actually open up the little chat feature, which is really cool. We are live today on Facebook and YouTube, and we just want to remind everyone that is watching us on Facebook to head over to PCSM Church on YouTube, where you can find a bunch of archived episodes of yoga classes. So we have 30-minute, 45-minute, and 60-minute yoga classes with Anna, as well as some breath work with Matt. So whenever you're just feeling like you need to take 5, you can get onto our channel, and for total free money, for no money at all, you can just get in there and do a quick little reset. So, and we kind of consider this astrology report our sort of weekly reset with Colleen Marie so that we can co-create with the cosmos. And I'm coming at you live right now from Irie Bliss, Rockland. And one thing that I did want to remind everybody is that when you are a member of the People's Congregation of Shakers and Movers, and if you're a healer, if you're a reader, if you're a Reiki practitioner, we don't really allow massage because we are not a licensed massage establishment, and that opens a whole can of worms with licensing and all kinds of other things. But say if you just need to hold space for somebody, you want to do a chart, you want to do a reading like we said. So this space is available for just 10% of whatever your service charge is, so that we could provide a place for members who just needed kind of an escape, right? Like you might only need a place to work outside of the home once or twice a month. And that's really what this was kind of designed for. So after 6 p.m. and on Sundays, it's usually empty here. So I can actually just do a really gentle pan around of the practice room behind me, but it's pretty chill. We always have this massage table in here, and Colleen has done some Reiki in here before. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to just speak to how amazing the energy is in that space. Sandy, can you show the ceiling?
We took it down for the
Oh,
Harvest Cup. I know. We got to put it back up. Yeah, Colleen's
so there's a
referring to this like
beautiful,
insane crocheted blanket
yeah,
that I used to have. I'm like, which way am I going? That we had along the ceiling, and we will put it back up. But yeah, it's really mellow in here, and it's hard to
great.
have a healer in here when the store is open. So we found at night it's just really peaceful. So pcsam.org for more information about membership. But otherwise, alas, it's a new week, and we do have an event Friday for anybody interested in meeting some of the other kind of leaders of the church. We have folks that have been stepping up and leading our integrated recovery practice support group, which is essentially, we say, anybody recovering from anything, which is all of us, and actively engaging in their own healing. So whether it's yoga, breath work, sound healing, meditation, this week is going to be an art therapy class, preceded by a guided meditation upstairs at Open Door Yoga Studio. So we do want to thank Open Doors for their continued support to allow us to bring these events free for the community. So
Love
yeah,
that.
hopefully you can check that out. And then of course we had DJ Frantic at Soul Saturday, which is always a good time. So come down and check him out. And if you can't come in person, we are streaming on Twitch TV/PCSM Church. So you can always check out the vibe there. But yeah, that's my 2 cents, Colleen. What do you have going on in the stars? What's shaking?
Well, first, I just want to say thank you for all that you do to create such an engaging and dynamic community. I think, we've talked about this so many times, but how the modern kind of society doesn't have a lot of space for community. And you've really done so much to build that and nourish that and sustain that. So thank you for everything you do. And I'm just honored to be a part of this
Well,
movement.
thank you. I couldn't do it without the support of the members, so it's not just me; it's the collective. So I equally am grateful. So thank you too
Absolutely.
for all you do.
Wonderful. Well, yeah, you mentioned it right off the bat. We are coming off of a powerful new moon. So it was a new moon in Aquarius, and it hit like a ton of bricks for a lot of us, in part because it's actually the closest new moon that we've had to the earth, physically to the earth, in like hundreds of years. So
Oh,
killing it. And it's also in the sign of Aquarius. It also launched the Lunar New Year. This is a water rabbit year. I talked about that last week. We're coming off a tiger year. So last year was pretty intense, I think, for a lot of us. So, water rabbit is a yin, gentle, kind of more peace loving vibe. I don't know about you, but I could definitely get down with some of that this year. At the same time, though, we are in this Aquarius energy, and Aquarius is anything but predictable. So, throughout the next 4 weeks, we're really going to be diving into the themes around Aquarius. And I always like to talk about the fact that people think Aquarius is a water sign, when in reality, it is an air sign, but it is called the water bearer. So, the symbol for Aquarius is a human carrying a vessel full of water. And the way that I like to think about that is water is like information or healing, and it allows, Aquarius is all about bringing that water to everyone equally. So it's all about sustainability, humanitarianism, equal access, zero hierarchy. We're all human beings. We all come to the table with the same rights and the same, capacity and capability. And I think that's a massive theme for this time of year. And so we may find ourselves really leaning into how we can be more authentic to our true self, how we can really be more of service on a humanitarian level, and just to be more conscious of how we, spread information and how we understand access and where we can kind of level the playing field in our life. So, the good news is that the new moon is behind us because remember, as we go towards the new moon, that's when stuff kind of gets heavy. And then after the new moon, it starts to lighten up, and we might feel vitality returning. We might feel a little bit more energy coming in. So, we really are on this upswing in the lunar cycle until our full moon, which is February 5th. So, we have that coming, which is great. But in this process of kind of, opening up and the kind of upward movement towards the full moon, there might be a lot of, unexpected stuff that could happen because we're in Aquarius. And that's something to always do is expect the unexpected. And anytime, again, that we can encourage freedom and authenticity throughout this month, it's going to work in our favor. We are also experiencing every single planet in direct motion. So, not a single planet in retrograde. That is going to last, as we mentioned last week, until like 420. Okay. So during this time, we're really going to want to focus on getting some things in motion that we haven't really been able to kind of put forward in these first few weeks of 2023. Now, at the same time, I want to acknowledge that it is still winter time. This is still hibernation time. So while, yes, we have this forward momentum, let's please be gentle with ourselves, especially until Imbolc, which is the first weekend or the first week of February. That's kind of considered the first stirrings of spring. Imbolc means in the mother's belly. And so there's that first stirring that spring is coming. Then we can really start to open things up. But we're still in this really deep hibernation where it's hard to see past this winter that we're in. And if we try to force it, that's when things backfire. So it's super important right now to remember, yes, all the planets are moving forward, but we are still in the winter, the hibernation season, and welcoming that, encouraging that, spending time in your cocoon, in your hibernation station, whatever that looks like. For me, it looks like a hat on and I'm sitting in front of the fire and I'm doing paint by numbers. That is my, and I'm watching like fake murder mysteries on my phone. That's what I do when I need to hibernate.
I
So,
like either like taking like this was me this morning, like everything out of the cabinet, like open
yes,
the sink, you know what I mean? And I just did this, and it was
uh,
just all right.
so
Here we
good.
go. Do we need it? Is it trash? This is weird.
Yeah,
Something about this particular. I'm just tearing into everything, and if it's not needed, if it's not useful, I'm just like get on it, get rid of it.
yeah, yep.
It's
I
awesome.
love
I love this momentum right now. I'm totally feeling what you said about the all the planets. Like it's like I'm on a roller coaster and I can't get off, and it's like getting faster, and there's just like things are building and falling into place. It's amazing. Oh,
oh, I
there's
love
mommy. Hi, mom. Got a little
and
heart from my mommy.
here too is again, yes, this forward momentum, but just kind of like being gentle with it and trusting it, surrendering to it while, just allowing things to fall into place
Yeah, I feel
right
like
now.
I'm in the flow. I feel like as soon as
Yeah.
I say something and I'm like, what should we do Nikan weekend? Yeah, I don't think we should get a table. I look at my phone and someone wants to book the bus to get a ride to Nikan Friday and Saturday. And I'm like, oh, perfect. Like, that's why I didn't book a table because I'm actually going to be booked.
Oh, I love that.
I know. So, really, just like as soon as I speak something, I feel like lately everything's just like, it's just the door opens. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think I've had some really cool experiences this weekend in particular that you look at it and you're like, you can't make this shit up. And it just kind of falls into my lap and it's like, okay. And what's beautiful is that when we look for that, when we ask for it from the universe, exo the universe, it will show up. It's already yours, right? So this week, we're going to talk first about some of the major, like, kind of planetary aspects, and then we're going to dive into the moon. So the planets, of course, they move often very slowly if we're talking about the outer planets. So some of the inner planets, though, like Mercury and Venus, move pretty quickly. So they're going to do some things to us on a more like personal level. And so on the first one I want to talk about is that we're coming off of a Venus conjunct Saturn. So Saturn has been in Aquarius for a few years, but it is moving into Pisces come March. So that will be an interesting shift that we'll all feel collectively. But this Venus conjunct Saturn is really where we might be looking at the sustainability and integrity in our relationships, as well as in the way that we're making money. And we're kind of more concerned about long term vision for the future and creating systems that will support that in both relationships and money, right? So it's really a good time to kind of, yes, do our own thing because we're in Aquarius, but be a little bit, let's plan ahead. Let's be a little bit conservative about the way that we're approaching things. So there is kind of a structure to it. I know for me, this was kind of showing up around, really wanting to make sure that the way that I'm communicating in my relationships is really clear. And the ones that aren't really supporting me, I'm just finding, again, like we just don't have time for that right now. And that's okay, right? So Venus Saturn tends to cull things, and whatever's not serving needs to go. And if it lasts, great. So we're coming off of that yesterday. Today, we also have later on this week, Venus enters Pisces. So I mentioned Saturn will be doing that later, but Venus is much quicker and Venus goes first. So Venus will enter Pisces. It's been in Aquarius. Venus isn't always comfortable in Aquarius because Aquarius wants freedom, authenticity. It wants to do its own damn thing. It wants to be bold. It wants to, let its freak flag fly and just be super unique. In fact, there's like a lot of astrologers that say that Uranus is like the divorce planet and Uranus rules Aquarius. So like we get what we're saying, here, where it can just be kind of, it shakes things up in our relationships. When it moves into Pisces, it tends to be much more loving and compassionate and dreamy and imaginative. So that'll be kind of feeling nice, I think, for a lot of us. Although, of course, it can also mean that we are wearing our rose colored glasses in our relationships. Maybe we're getting walked on more than we should. So, watching for that as Venus moves through Pisces for the next few weeks. So yeah, if you've been feeling in your relationship like you're a little uncomfortable because you just want to do your own thing, this will feel a little bit more at ease when we move into that on Thursday. And then the other major planetary aspect we have is Sunday, the 29th. We have a trine between Mercury in Capricorn and Uranus in Taurus. So this could be a powerful day for breakthroughs in matters of the mind, the intellect, some ideas kind of coming through unexpectedly, sudden kind of strokes of genius, that sort of thing. And I especially see this in regard to career and money matters. So Sunday could be like a great day to kind of have a brainstorm, figure out what you want to do in the next couple of months when it comes to career. It's a great day for planning and but also expecting kind of like how can I do something in a bold new way. So let's talk about the moon real quick. So the moon, of course, is what we like to talk about on a weekly basis because the moon changes so quickly. It moves through a sign in 2.5 days and then through the entire zodiac in 29 days. So this week, we're really seeing the moon move from Pisces into Aries and then finishing out the weekend in Taurus. So, Pisces moon today, tomorrow, very psychic, dreamy, imaginative energy. The moon, especially tomorrow, is going to be coming into conjunction with Neptune, which rules Pisces. So, it's like a super psychic day. We're going to be feeling really connected to the cosmos. Maybe again, that extra little bit of compassion, but watching for kind of taking on other people's stuff as our own, maybe lacking boundaries, all that kind of stuff. So, Monday, Tuesday, big picture dreaming, but don't forget to keep your feet on the ground. Wednesday through Friday, we're going to feel a big shift in energy because now the moon moves into Aries, and Aries is about forward momentum, right? So, also, we can't forget the fact that we have had Mars, the ruler of Aries, retrograde for weeks and weeks, and it just last week finally went direct. So, that on, Wednesday through Friday with this moon in Aries and Mars moving forward, there's a lot of fiery action happening. So, this is when, especially Wednesday, we're going to be feeling maybe some really big emotions because the moon and Jupiter line up and Jupiter just expands everything. So, forward momentum while also really feeling it all on Wednesday. Thursday, the moon does come to a square with Mercury. So, I will say, watch for communication kind of clashes come Thursday. What did Stan just say?
We're all about the boldness.
Yes, all about the boldness. Spoken like a true Aries, which Stan
Right.
is. So yeah, definitely a bold middle of the week. So speaking of just kind of like forward momentum, that's the time to focus on that. The weekend brings us into a very different vibration because the moon moves into Taurus and wants to slow everything down. So the weekend is a great time to vibe with friends and family, keep it cozy, keep it comfy, sit by that fire, do your paint by numbers, whatever it looks like. And just
Crochet.
yes, crochet, absolutely. Hang out with your plants, animals. All
I'm feeling that.
yes, yes. So it could also, I will say, there is on Saturday, the moon comes into alignment with Uranus. Uranus has been in Taurus for several years. So that could bring some like shakeup or unexpected emotions, or just a desire to kind of do something fun and different. So even though we're kind of in this homey place, we might want to shake it up and do something different. In fact, I have plans on Sunday to go to the Children's Museum with my whole family. We're going to like go into the city and do something different while still be very much with each other, right? And then on Sunday, we do have a nice trine between the sun and Mars. So we've been talking about that forward momentum. That's also a great day to kind of get some things happening. We talked about Sunday is also that Mercury trine Uranus we spoke about earlier. So great day for forward momentum on Sunday.
Awesome. So yeah, I've been like real estate hunting and doing all these things that are just, have a lot to do with planning and have a lot to do with like generational wealth, but not just like for me, for the whole congregation and, more to come on that. But I think that's what Stan might be talking about. Like when you talked about shaking up the systems, not that we're disruptors or anything.
Yeah, well,
That really resonated with me. And then, yeah, and all the relationship stuff is really interesting. Like, I think that what kind of came to me was if it doesn't fit, don't force it. And just that, like, maybe it's okay to do your own thing. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And not take things so personally. That's kind of where I'm at lately. Like, everybody is really got their own mission, here on earth, and we're all just really living in parallel. And that's why I think I'm just trying to show up as the best version of myself, stay in my own lane, and kind of worry about what I'm doing, because it's kind of all I have the energy for lately. You know what I mean? And so I just think that kind of goes in line with what you're saying. And even like the year of the rabbit, and this, it's kind of, it is a new year in a way, and I like where it's going. So
Yes, I
thank
love that so much. So interesting to bring up the fact that, Aquarius season is during this hibernation time. So it's a time when we're really kind of pulling back from being super necessarily like engaged in what everyone else is doing. And we're kind of just putting the focus back on what do we authentically want. And
you.
it's no coincidence that it's the dead of winter when this happens because it gives us that perspective.
Right. I'm like craving. I was just saying to my husband this morning, I'm like, we haven't had like the big 12-inch, everybody gets to stay home from school storm yet. And like, I hope we get one of those this year. I just want my banana pancake day, you know?
Yes, feel you. And looking at the rain again and again, it's been weird for my like New England soul. I just want snow.
I know it has been strange, but yeah, I can feel it in my bones, that rain. Well, thanks, Colleen. I hope we see
Thank
your
you.
beautiful face at the church, one of these Fridays. I think you would really enjoy these other healers and teachers, that are bringing
Yes,
these offerings.
please.
And yeah, everybody else out there, pcsam.org. I think Anna's going to put out a blog this week, and I'm going to try to get up the next like 6 or 7 Fridays tomorrow, so everybody kind of sees where we're heading. And then, of course, you guys please follow. Oh, sorry, what was that?
I'm sorry, I can't make this Friday, but I definitely want to make one. So
Okay.
I
Well, you know where to find us. I did want to give a quick shout out to the Bay Staters for natural medicine. It does look like they are moving forward with decriminalization throughout the entire state. So if you guys aren't following Bay Staters for natural medicine, please sign up for their newsletter. They just got approved for their PayPal to be able to send them donations. And so if you're working with plant medicine, if you're taking advantage of the benefits of plant medicine, and you have a couple dollars to spare, these kids are doing some really important work for all of us. So, and they will be our charity of the season for the 420 holiday. So again, I'm starting to promote it now because big things coming there. So.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, all right, everyone. This has been another episode of Lunacy with Colleen Marie, and we will be here same time, same place next Monday, high noon, at the People's Congregation